This is simply unacceptable from the Edmonton Oilers. Friends, welcome aboard this evening following a dummying again at the hands, this time of the Calgary Flames. Compared to the first two games, a much improved effort for the Oilers that, as so often over the past 20-ish years in my time covering and looking at the Edmonton Oilers as a fan, a familiar script, a good enough game through 40 that the bottom falls out of in the third period, and you're left scratching your heads in a game in which it seemed like the Oilers might truthfully win this one. But unfortunately, another unacceptable loss to start, somehow worse than last year's 2-9-1, because that did not include an 0-3 start by this Edmonton Oilers hockey team. You can make all the excuses, you can give all the positives you want, it just doesn't stack up. At the end of the day, the Oilers are 0-3, and they promised us a better start, and they are, indeed, in a word, worse than last year to kick things off, and that, my friends, is why I'm using such harsh tones to begin this. This is not at all something that anybody should be making excuses for. And what? Oh, if somebody's going to joke, oh, fire the coach. Oh, fire Woodcroft again. Oh, you know what? We'll solve this by firing Stan Bowman. We'll solve this by firing Dustin Schwartz. At some point, these terrible, and I want to use much stronger language. Unfortunately, hey, I got a thing to do here where we keep it PG. But at the end of the day is at some point, this has to be on the players, not only to hold themselves accountable, but actually figure it the heck out and get the job done. Because I, for one, am sick of these mediocre to borderline unacceptable starts year in, year out, in which we are promised this, oh yeah, here we go, the season's going to be a banger, and we're left scratching our heads until at least somewhere in late November. And I am tired of it, and I'm not here to anymore make excuses for it. And you know what? I think a lot of people, oh, well, they don't have this guy, they don't have that guy. Guess what? At the end of the day, even the guys on the back end that majority of Oilers fans aren't comfortable with have NHL experience equivalent to the guys we got rid of. So I am not going to sit here and say, well, it's this, that, or that. It is just simply at this point, you know what? Own it and get better, because there is legitimately nowhere else to go but up. Friends, I'll leave you with that for right now. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button, because my goodness, you thought last year's Cinderella story, Rags to Riches, was going to be better or not topped. Well, it's going to be better than that this year, because quite honestly, they are worse at this point of the season than they were last year, and that, to my brain, is absolutely incomprehensible, because it is just, I mean, how does that happen when you sit there and you sleep through the preseason? The Oilers show no urgency through much of the first two games. They have a better start in game 3 of the season in the Battle of Alberta, no less, where they finally wake up and throw some hits in the first period and then get dummied as the game goes along by a team that was projected to be a bottom 5 team, and instead of you being 3-0, it's the Calgary Flames who are 3-0 to start the 2024-2025 NHL season, just as we all predicted, because of course the Oilers, time eternal, can't start on time. And you know what? Yeah, okay, I get it. There's some things to clean up. I get it. There's some things fans don't like. I get it. There's some people in the organization fans don't like. I get it that things just aren't what they were at the Game 7 point of last season against the Stanley Cup winning Florida Panthers. I don't care. The excuses have run thin in Edmonton. You either start on time and you get this corrected right the heck now, or stop talking a good game in the preseason. You know what? I don't want to hear the nice, fluffy quotes from the Oilers about how it's a new year, it's a new start, whatever. No, stop feeding me the crap, and quite honestly, just tell me you're not going to care to show up for the first week of the season, whatever, the first month, whatever 2 months it's going to be, because I am tired of sitting here getting all jacked up soon as the calendar jumps to October and, hey, let's go, we're in it to win it, and then you got to suffer through this BS to start the NHL season year in, year out. Come on, I can't be alone in that. I quite simply cannot be alone in that. And I get it, right? We've all watched the Amazon documentary series about how much Connor and Leon and the boys really, truly do care. But you can't tell me at any point that they all show that. They all really just absolutely make good television. And then they deliver results like this. I am sorry. Last year when I was this fired up, you saw me wearing a squirrel suit. And I am one loss away from throwing that back on when I told you it was in the closet and it was burnt to a crisp because we were never going to have to use it again. And here we are, a loss away from starting 0-4 after a year we went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final against the Florida Panthers. And let me check my notes. We've still got Leon Draisaitl, we've still got Connor McDavid, we've still got Zach Hyman, we've still got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and we still got Evan Bouchard. That's the top power play in the NHL the past how many ever years running. And somehow, some way, we've scored 3 goals in 3 games, 180 minutes of hockey to start the year, and the Oilers have give me a second here to just make sure I got this number right. They've given up 15 goals to start the year. You have got to be kidding me. At what point? At what point is this just absolute drama just for the camera on this part of the Oilers? I don't know, right? I mean, I referenced the Amazon documentary. Is this just all for show, right? Oh, you thought we were terrible to start last year. Let's go. We're gonna exceed that, and then we're gonna exceed your expectations by winning the Stanley Cup. I'm gonna tell you, as an Oilers fan, I don't want to sit back and watch a documentary in July next year about how terrible the Oilers were in October, November, and went on to win the Cup. I want to watch a full season of my team dominating the NHL to the point that it's not even funny, because I dang well deserve to see Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and company run show on the NHL for one season in potentially a 20-plus year career for each player in this city. Because at what point have we done that yet, right? We have not had one single season of Connor and Leon where the Oilers have not had 1 ounce of doubt in their NHL season. And like I said, you can make all the excuses you want that 0-3 is not that bad. Oh, it's okay. They'll figure it out. I'm sorry. I am sorry. That doesn't cut it this year. We know what the standard is. And if you're still making excuses for this team starting this poor this year, get a grip, because you got to demand better. I'm sorry. You're either part of the fan base that knows what the expectation was, or you're part of the problem. There's no real other way to put that. And I'm not saying you have to be calling for Stan Bowman to be fired. I don't mean you have to go pitchforks and torches out front of Rogers Place to chase Dustin Schwartz as far away from that building as possible. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is you gotta sit here and stop, as an Oilers fan, making excuses for why this team. You want to blame Stuart Skinner? Great. How about the other 19 guys in front of him, right? End of the day, let's be honest. Hockey's a team game. If Stuart Skinner was losing us every game, we probably aren't losing 15-3. Quite honestly, because he hasn't played even the majority of the time so far this year. So, let's get it together here. Let's get our poop in a group. And let's see the Oilers go out there and dummy the next game like they were supposed to tonight, and which should traditionally be a get-right game at the start of the year. A game that shouldn't be hard for Connor and Leon and the boys to get up for in Calgary, and not a game in which you take a third period off when you're tied at 1 apiece. So, yeah, I'm fired up here, and I think rightfully so. That we deserve better, we should demand better, and whatever form you want to take that in, go for it. But don't sit here and make excuses for a team that once again failed to deliver on the promise that they made all summer and throughout the preseason. Friends, this is Dolynny TV. Thanks for being aboard. Like I said, why tune into the Amazon documentary at the end of the year to figure out how bad this team sucked in October, November? You might as well subscribe and figure it out for yourself as we go along. For right now, it's Dolynny TV. I'm up on out of here. You have yourself a great night, whatever's left of it, because the Oilers ruined 3.5 hours of it.